graveyard, but it wasn't until last week that I realized something had been watching me the whole time. It started just like any other day. I'd pass the graveyard on my way home from work. It's a path I've taken for years, but last week something changed. As I walked by, I felt a chill run down my spine, a feeling like I wasn't alone. I brushed it off as nothing. But that night, I had the strangest dream. I was walking past the graveyard, but the graves, they weren't empty. They were watching me. The dream grew more vivid with each passing night. I would find myself walking past the graves, only this time I couldn't move. I was paralyzed as the shadows crept closer, whispering my name. I would wake up in a cold sweat, but the feeling stayed with me. Even during the day, I could feel it, the weight of something watching from the graveyard. Then came the first sign that this wasn't just in my head. I was walking home as usual when I heard it. A faint voice carried on the wind. It was calling me from the graveyard. At first I thought it was just my imagination, but then I saw it. Out of the corner of my eye, there was a figure standing by one of the graves, watching me. Each day the figure was there. It never moved, never spoke, just stood there watching me. I tried to ignore it, but every time I passed by, it felt like it was getting closer. One night, as I lay in bed, I heard something tapping at my window. I froze, knowing what it was. I couldn't bring myself to look, but the tapping didn't stop. It was waiting for me to open the curtains. I couldn't take it anymore. The next day I went to the graveyard. I stood in front of the grave where I'd seen the figure, hoping to find something, anything, that could explain what was happening. The headstone was old and worn, but I could just make out the name. It was mine. My name was on the gravestone. That's when the dreams changed. It wasn't just shadows anymore. They were pulling me, dragging me toward the grave. I could feel the cold hands reaching up from the dirt, trying to claim me. I would wake up gasping for air, but the feeling wouldn't go away. I knew I was being hunted. Last night it finally happened. I was walking past the graveyard when I heard footsteps behind me. They were slow, deliberate, as if whoever or whatever it was didn't care if I knew they were coming. I turned around, and there it was. The figure was standing right behind me, its face hidden in shadow, but I could feel its eyes on me. It whispered my name, but it wasn't a voice I recognized. I ran. I didn't look back. I ran as fast as I could, but no matter how far I went, I could still hear it. The footsteps, the whispers, they were getting closer. When I got home, I slammed the door shut, but the tapping at the window started again. This time it wasn't just a tap. It was a knock. Slow, steady, insistent. I couldn't take it anymore. I grabbed the nearest object and threw it at the window, hoping to shatter the glass, but when I looked, the window was untouched, and there, on the other side, was the figure. It was smiling. That's when I realized it wasn't going to stop. It was coming for me, and there was nothing I could do to stop it. I'm telling you this because I don't have much time. If you ever feel like something is watching you, don't ignore it. If you pass by a graveyard and you feel the eyes of the dead on you, don't look back. Because once they've marked you, they won't stop until they take you. Are you sure you're alone?